With this team, I brought myself to 2900 elo in GBL, and of course this team is extremely good on niche general coverage, and that's why I managed to get there. So in the very first couple of battles, we're gonna use the Shadow Claw version of Alola Sandslash, but later on I figured out that the Powder Snow is gonna be much more impactful to the meta, and of course against flyers, which is a factor that we definitely need some coverage. Throughout the entire video, we're gonna cover some really bad leads, so stay tuned till the end because you definitely do not want to miss those and make the best out of this team on your own Great League matches. So both shields on both sides are down now, and we're having the switch out to that Diggersby after that very bad lead on the Gligar. Now Annihilate will go in, and of course we need to farm as much as possible. As you can see here, we also do not run Ice Punch on our Annihilate, and this is one of the best things that I have decided for my Pokemon, because we can easily have the upper hand whatever follows at the back with that extremely good close combat. Here comes the first one, and my opponent most likely was expecting the Ice Punch here, but we know better with the one shot on the Steel type and one more to do a lot of damage on the Gligar. Why didn't I go here for the Shadow Ball? Just for the flex points. And now let's move forward into the next battle. We're having now Serperior up in front, which is a bad lead overall because of its ability to have access to that Aerial Ace, which is always super effective, and in combination with a few of those Van Whips, things can go sideways. Hopefully though we can get those CMPs, but at the same time they can catch on that Dugong, which is kinda sad for me. It doesn't matter, I still know that Serperior has some energy stored up, probably one Aerial Ace worth of energy, and right after we'll try to completely farm down here with those counters. So Annihilate now is loaded on energy, and we're gonna go down here, I believe, to the Aerial Ace. No, I'm just gonna block. Okay, you know what? I really like this play because now we can easily farm down. Bastiodon is at the back. Will they expect that damage output? Yes, they will. So the double close combat is most likely gonna be double blocked here, but still we're having kinda the upper hand with those drill runs. However, a simple flamethrower can be kinda clutch for them, so at some point I might actually have to catch on my Golisopod. Here comes now the switch because they definitely have one flamethrower ready to go, but my opponent decides to stay in and focus on the complete farm down. After the defense drop, we can easily farm down, but we fall down at the same time, and since we have one more Pokemon remaining at the back, we can get that victory as well. Into the next battle now with a Vigoroth, which is also a bad lead because of its ability to get now this season to those rock slides. So I'm expecting the rock slides, to be honest, but I'm still gonna let that go through, and they end up going for the body slam. Most of the times I want to let that first move go through because I still have Annihilate at the back, which can charge up those moves by completely farming down and walling down that poor Vigoroth. So with that in mind, now we're just gonna get out of here with the shield disadvantage, but with a couple of more moves to throw on the next Pokemon. That next Pokemon though is an electric type, which means that they can easily farm me down before I reach to another X Scissor or another Liquidation. So now I'm just gonna get my hands on the Sandslash. Drill Run for the win here. At the back they have the Poliwrath, so the battle is definitely not over yet. All we have to do at this point is to go straight for those counters because they have 2 shields remaining, and I want to rely a lot on my counter damage. Double Icy Wind is coming up. Can we do it, trainers? 3, 4, 5, 6, barely before they reach to the next Icy Wind, and we're gonna get that severe victory towards our side. Into the next battle now with a Pokemon that is bad against us, actually is a bad lead because of its ability to resist by a lot our Shadow Claws. So how I want to play this is to always switch out to my Annihilate after I throw the first Liquidation. Even if we get the debuff or not, I don't care at all, the switch is definitely happening, and right here my opponent will throw the remaining energy that they have because they might think that we have a Night Slash or even a Ice Punch on our Annihilate. Now we're just gonna gonna go in there, return to the battle with our Golisopod, and those X scissors are gonna be kinda clutch for them. So they need to respect the damage, but they will not, so down they go in one shot. What I like about Sandslash is that it is a Pokemon that can still hold down those leak tanks with ease, able to resist pretty much whatever charge attack they are gonna throw. This is looking pretty wonderful for us now because we can go ahead and charge up a lot, and at the same time we can expect something weak to our Pokemon over here as their third one. So it is gonna be the Gligar on the Shadow form, which means that a double Ice Punch here will most likely seal the deal, and my opponent, I believe, will take the first one. Yeah, even though they have the shield, they are counting, so they have nothing else to do over here. Into the next battle now with the Talonflame up in front. So this is the worst lead that you can actually get, but my opponent here decides to go ahead and switch out to the Leaky Tank. Still though, it's kinda problematic for my backline, so I do not recommend going ahead and switch out to your Annihilate against that Talonflame, because you definitely want to stay in and start going for those baits and the X scissors, because eventually you will be able to outspeed them to that third charge attack, which is always gonna be your liquidation. So with that in mind now, we're just gonna see the switch in battle here with the Leaky Tank up against our Sandslash, and of course once again whatever they throw can be resisted, but at the same time, as it seems, my opponent decides to go ahead and sacrifice their shield. This is looking pretty promising for me now, because even if they have energy on their Talonflame, we can have the upper hand with the liquidations. So here comes the liquidation on the shield, defense drop. This is pretty huge right now. Are they gonna switch out? No, they are not. Actually they are. Okay, my bad over here, and they're having that Lantern coming in super clutch. All I want to do at this point is to throw my double X scissor and completely farm down with that Annihilate. Able to do so, but first we need to respect the damage from that double serve. I know that I have to sacrifice at least a shield in the process, so here comes now the second move, a second serve, which is gonna put us extremely low. I'm gonna press immediately the Shadow Ball here, which ends up being a huge mistake because my opponent will be able to survive the move. I was not expecting this. I don't know what I was thinking. Most probably I could have gotten to a couple of more counters before doing something weird, but yeah, that was definitely a play that I shouldn't have done back there. I should have gotten to the extra counters, then throw the move, and absolutely we could grab this victory. Anyways, well played to my opponent, definitely took the advantage of my mistakes, and now we're just gonna keep going here into the next battle. As on the switch in, we're meeting up with that Azumarill after the Skarmory lead. So Skarmory is always playable with your Golisopod because that is how good that Pokemon is. It can hold down pretty much the entire meta. I'm not gonna showcase any of the good leads because it would make no sense, to be fair. All those Whiscases, all those Annihilates, Medichams, whatever your opponent is gonna throw up against you, you can have always the upper hand. So anyways, with my Sandslash now, they are able to catch the Drill Run on that Skarmory. It doesn't matter, we can still return into the battle with our Golisopod, and those liquidations are gonna come in fairly clutch. So by respecting the damage here, we will be able to completely farm down, and now it all depends on what they might be having as their third Pokemon. I'm expecting the Azumarill for now to return. Here comes now the X Scissor. All we need to do here is to finish off this Pokemon as soon as possible, and to my surprise, they are gonna go ahead and shield. This is looking pretty good. Now a double X Scissor is coming up, Annihilate for the win here. All we have to do is to charge up to a simple close combat while counting at the same time. Instead I'm gonna go here for the Shadow Ball. Okay, I see what I'm doing. I want to farm down with Annihilate most probably, but if they want to have any chance at all, they need to bring that Ice Beam into play and of course finish off my Annihilate. But they're getting super low, so a couple of Shadow Claws later we managed to farm down, and another big victory will be for our team. Into the final one now, and we're having Shadow Dragonair up in front. This Pokemon is very troublesome because of its ability to use shields in order to apply even more pressure with those Shadow Dragon Breaths. So all we have to do at this point is to go ahead and block in return, while we can always outspeed just barely enough to that X Scissor. By taking both of those shields out of play, now we can bring our Sandslash into the game, and of course at this point we're using the Shadow Claw version once again. If I had the powder snow, perhaps things could have been a little bit differently since we could farm down much easier, but it doesn't matter. On the Switch we're meeting up with the lantern, and now I want to respect the damage here, but at the same time I know that I will need that final shield for the end game. So by blocking here I think I can easily farm down with this, just in case that is a Thunderbolt, but of course it isn't, just a Surf, but it doesn't matter, we have at least a close combat ready to go. This is looking pretty promising, and now Dragonair returns into the battle. This will give me a little bit of extra hope. Down they go, Victory Bell at the back on the Shadow form, that was super close, Shadow Ball for the knockout, and we can get a very close victory to end this video in an amazing positive tone. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till the end. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my content, and of course after finishing your like on this video, feel free to check any of these two videos that I have prepared for you, and I hope to catch you all up later into the next one.